This is the first tutorial. We will focus on three major steps: basic interface, importing media, creating the first composition. Normally, the After Effects interface looks more complicated. I hid some windows that we don't need for now. Mainly here we have four windows. Project panel, it will be containing all the imported or created items. The timeline window, a time-based workspace. A composition window, live preview for the composition or for the open composition. And the effect controls window. You can find for sure the basic menu bar with some specific tabs for After Effects. We will cover more interface items one by one in the upcoming tutorials when needed or used. After Effects can import several types of media: images, video clips, audio clips, graphic, data, scripts. To import media, you can opt for the classic way: File, Import. The shortcut is Ctrl-I, or simply double-click on the empty area in the project panel. Compatible files can be imported one by one or all at once. Imported items will show in the project panel with a full description. Try to drag your file to the timeline window. It will show up in the composition window. That means a new composition is by default created in the project panel, but with the same item dimensions. In our case, it's a huge size, and we don't need that. We can undo that by Edit, Undo, or Ctrl-Z and create a new composition from Composition menu, or simply by clicking here on this small icon. A new window will appear. Here, you can specify your new composition settings. You can choose the name for your composition. You can choose the size from the available presets, or you can specify a custom size. Take a look at the other fields where you can specify, for example, the frame rate, the duration, the background color. Hit OK. The composition will be added by default to the project panel. You can specify the preview ratio of the composition using the mouse wheel, or by choosing the more comfortable magnification ratio for your viewport. By default, an empty composition comes with this pattern. You can revert it to the default composition background color. Try to drag one item from the project panel to the timeline. It will be your first layer. As it's a big layer in our case, it exceeded the composition borders. We need to adjust the size with the selection tool. To keep the same proportion, hit the Shift key while resizing. Another useful way to resize the layer, hit the S key on the keyboard. The scale parameter will show under the layer. The same way we can add another layer. Here we drag the bird layer. It's a PNG file with transparent background. With the selection tool, we can position it wherever we want on our work area. The same way, S as a shortcut for the scale parameter, and to adjust the position, hit P on the keyboard. Drag another layer. Adjust the size as we did previously. But now, be careful for the layers order. Keep always the foreground layer on the top of the layers in the timeline. Now we will try to go further in our composition. The mountain layer here comes with a background. To get rid of that, we need to mask it, using a new tool, the pen tool. Be sure the layer is selected first. Try to draw a mask around the mountain boundaries. Make sure to close the mask shape. Hit M on the keyboard to show the mask. Double M to reveal the mask parameters. Play with the feather and mask expansion values to get the best look. You can adjust the mask at any time by adjusting the shape. Here comes the turn to drag a video clip. You can check it along the timeline. Change the layer order and size to get the better composition look. Now, with the rectangular mask tool, we will draw a rectangle containing the desired part from our layer. Same thing, hit double M to be able to play with the mask parameters. Now our composition looks nice. If we want to go further, we can add another layer. In our case, a video clip of a smoke on a dark background. Adjust the size and position. Make sure always to collapse all the layers to get a better timeline view. Another way to compose with a new layer is to blend it with the result we had previously. For that, choose one of the blending modes specific to the layer and that fits better the intended result. In our case, screen mode is quite perfect to get rid of the dark background. If you can't see the blending mode tab, you can reveal it by hitting F4. To make a preview of the result, we can lean on the preview window. Just reveal it from the window menu. Don't worry if it appears in an undesired corner. You can always adjust your interface by dragging the window to the desired area. The play button in the top of the window to make a preview, but you still can perform it by hitting the 0 in the numeric pad. Here comes the end of this first tutorial. I hope it was consistent and helpful. It will be a pleasure to meet you again in the next one.